Come on, let's go. So him is like, maybe they moved it. Maybe they put it over in the corner. So they start running around in this station, which is nothing but a square. They checked all four corners, and then Hard was like, man, the cheese is gone. Who moved my cheese? Who moved my cheese? The cheese isn't here anymore. And had they noticed, they would have noticed it was getting lower and lower and change was coming. But they didn't. They got comfortable instead. So they sat there and they started scribbling these sayings on the wall. Life is better when you have cheese. And all these little different sayings that they had. I love all the little sayings that they had. One of them, move with the cheese and you can enjoy it. They sat there, still don't have the running shoes on, until him said, you know what? I think we're going to have to follow those little mice. They know something. They left. They're not here anymore. We should go out there into the maze. And Hall was like, no, man, I don't want to go into the maze. It's scary out there in the maze. You don't know what can happen to you out there. Somebody can jump on you out there in that maze. All kind of dangerous pratfalls and everything is out there. I'm going to stay right here. But him was like, why would we stay here? He said, maybe they put it on the other side of the wall. And if we just work harder and we tried more and put in more effort, that we can get to the cheese. So they got their tools, sledgehammers, picks, and axes, and start busting a hole in the wall. And they were tired and ragged, and they kept slugging this wall. Nothing. Couldn't even get to the other side. All this strong concrete of the maze wall, they were just sitting there just working themselves in a hole. Okay? Until finally him said, I can't do this no more. This is crazy. I can't do this anymore. I'm going out into the maze. And I was like, are you stupid? You really gonna go out there? Yes, I'm going out there. Why don't you come with me? No, I'm gonna stay here and maybe they'll bring the cheese back. Maybe they'll bring it back over here. So he left his friend. Him went out there, put on his shoes, laced them up, zipped up his jogging suit, and he took off. And he was scared to death out there in the maze by himself. But he kept putting little markings on the walls just in case he get back into the same corridor, you know, and some corridors were very, very dark. And one time he was running down a corridor, it was a big hole in the middle of the floor and he fell into it. And boy, he hurt himself, but he climbed out that hole and he wound up running around the maze and came back to that same hole again. But because he put the markings on the wall, he knew, oh man, I got to walk around this hole. See, that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. He was famished. He was starving, but he kept finding just little pieces of cheese, just little bits. It was enough to sustain him. And sometimes it was enough to eat and put like 1 or 2 pieces in his pocket. He had a couple of them in there. And when he couldn't find no more, he would eat off what he found on the ground. But he kept running. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. I don't have any cheese, but I feel good. And he just got his second wind. And boy, he was just humping it. Found Cheese Station Inn, a new cheese station. And there was the little mice with the clipboards and enjoying the cheese and everything, got their sneakers around their neck. They had been there for months. He was like, man, I should have left earlier. I wonder if Ha is on his way. And pretty soon he said, you know what? This is so much cheese that all 4 of us, we won't be able to eat all this in our lifetime. I'm going to go back and get the homie. I'm going to go get Ha. And him ran back, followed the writing on the wall, and found his homie. He looked horrible. Oh, man. He looked bad.